answer. All because Sir Oma answer the paymaster Bawumia and NPP for no. They will say, why have you thrown Bawumia under the bus? And they say Ghana and the NPP. Bibi cost to be your mumpe. They will never see anything good in what we are doing or the building we are building because they just come, destroy, kill, and then disappear. That is what they do. We omusa omo Jimmy. Omunyina no mabodam. Ina monkey na wutno. Ina monkey no. And your likes we say 2 million when people.
Abusia memo bibia akwaba. Enfambra Mega TV and platform with eso. Kevin Ekwabodi Tailor assign ababiu. Na waba with facts. Waba with the truth. Waba with the evidence. NPP for omo sorry na omo bojandam omo dintro no. Kevin Ekwabodi Tailor koya waba. Obeka ya obagana hano na obaye mission na eni so be di Christmas ene wakopim e United States of America na odi episode abraye na wuti nsem oka the expose efa good board eni Dr. Alhaji Bawumia opeso ye president a ochiremu a na omoka ne sen King Cyrus enye Jewish say whoever ewi echi say dey o preach ochire Ghana for say nim dey yabusuafo ensema Kevin Ekwabodi Tailor aka na odi achire NPP no utie bia wankasa beye sorry e dey NPP party no nanka obebisa am say NPP party ko mo be den e wa ban mu mo be den yinti se ni bia ko ba beto so meso so document betum na wa like na wa share na foforo etimi ni bia yinti se ni bi and from Hanum area number 1 authentic platform Mega TV and couple inshira ko papa
alternative in politics, you know. Our only alternative is the NDC. And the only NDC you betuma boa amana chichire man no and also the edit omoso. Inti ye de yenim hwe, yenim bonsam jem, and yenim bone. The enim say ye papa because yenim say ye papa ni wi a ye osra himem ne ebeko. Inti our alternative is the NDC and the NDC is the only option ye nyina e wo say ye di chire na ye boa amana chichire Ghana ema ye nyina. Now, mama yenko yenim na yendwedwam team stay with me. Nipa bebre o platform no so Kevin Tailor bomidin dabi ye de ahehye so. See senior madam bi o. Police officer penyini pa also your goal is an offside goal. Oh, madam. Yeah, sanka ojine mi anka hu senye easy o madam. Masam go no. CBS working madam menkasa o the nipa nche o. Ai a clear cut go pa. Sa man for hwe form na. On se gara for bebre hwe hu form no. On sa fe no hu form no. Oh, unkofo na me no mo hwe form no say. Me to be bu name. Ai ti madam na form sa. Now, let's move on. All right, thank you, sir. Now, in the dollar no, and the dollar no at 1050 and a John Mahama NDC. Pound sterling at 1417 and our ba a euro at 1233. Aban papa ba inti mama mayendi ho agro. Mama yembo ho pan na yemwa emagana engineer na so. Yeah, baby kill jandams be and sunny the jumade na so. And this is one story and the circulating on social media so ni nyina eye otrofo azani munafiki Mahamudu Bawumia or saying if God chose King Cyrus who was not a Jew, then God can choose Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia who is a Muslim to lead Ghana. Bawumia says onyankopon to me obi a friend of Cyrus ana onye Jew ni ema ne tumi be den etumi ebedi omonimo a ende ono so Mahamudu Bawumia no onyame betumi ayi no ama na bedi Ghana so na Bawumia yesre wo na ene aka se Jew for Bawumia me sure say anopa bi otafre dabo to Bawumia yesre wo na ene aka se Jew for asante forma pa ko forma pa enzima forma pa en awuna for enta forma pa ye de ne be Jew for where Jew for us. But the fact of the case is that say somebody needs to tell Bawumia and the NPP say he did not lose the elections because he's a Muslim. And that is one thing Bawumia is not getting. And it's something that he knows, but he just doesn't want to accept. You people should let Bawumia understand that the 2024 elections he lost, he lost it because Ghanaians got to know he's a liar. he's incapable of managing the affairs of this nation. That's all. It is not about Bawumia being a Muslim or Bawumia being married to somebody from Chad. No. Mahmoud Bawumia needs to understand, say, this kind of petty, childish, sympathetic politics, no, it does not work again. In 2024, 90% of the people who voted and voted the NPP out of power, they voted because they had assessed you for 8 years. And they have come to that point, say, you don't have the intellectual know-how to be the leader of this nation. So it's got nothing to do with Osuma Osum. It's got nothing to do with tribal Ufrim. And you people need to get to that point and understand the Ghana for Jimmy. Let me tell you. Say Yaka Obia Ostate religious politics, it was you, Mahamudu Bawumia. You went to the north and told our brothers and sisters in the northern region, say, because we are in Kremoninti, yan twaba maumedi president, Sebio, in Sobia and Kremonina, Sebio, with Jimmy, or say man be president. So this kind of petty, tribal, religious politics, and you started it, and you still not learned any sense to say, the new Ghanaian, the young Ghanaian, the Gen Zs, you know, they don't care about this kind of mifriha, michiniha, or somewhere na mismo. They are looking at your intellectual know-how, how consistent you are, how truthful you are, and how you can solve their problems for them. We are one of the longest serving running mates in Ghana. And we are the longest serving vice president in Ghana. Inti so be catch say, or be a friend Cyrus. Onyankopon say na onye Jew ni man be di Jew for so ye nye Jew for. And you need to get the basics right. 90% of the people who voted because no more chiromo. They voted because you lied to them that you were going to make sure their businesses survive. They voted against you because they could not trust your words. They voted against you because the jobs you said you were going to create, NAPCO, what, you could not create them. They voted against you because you said you were an economist, or you are an economist, and that you could sustain the economy, you could manage the economy to the point whereby the dollar was going to go lower than where you inherited it. But at the end of the day, they realized that the dollar was killing them. Their capital were all being swallowed up by your bad policies. So 90% of people who voted did not vote because you were Muslim. 90% of people who voted against the NPP did not vote because of one time. They voted because you are not intelligent enough to manage the affairs of this nation. And when it is better you come to that realization. King Cyrus, maybe I don't care about King Cyrus. Who the heck is King Cyrus? Diame be do Ghana ne hiame. Diame ofa owo Antombra ebedi ne hiame. Diame nua ofa nyoma e wo Togo. Nisika sebio ne capital enshi ne hiame. Na King Cyrus de me fam hoben. But you are still not getting it. You are still being misled. The people are telling you, sir, because you're in Kreboniti or losing, that is where you are getting it wrong. You lost because you are not smart. You lost because you are not intelligent. You lost because you are a liar. You lost because the people, the citizenry, they lost that respect for you. They were heartbroken. They did not believe in your words, and they still don't believe in your words. So it's about time you sat back, had a very strong reflection, and then understand and respect the intelligence of the people, and because these kind of things, it will not convince anybody to vote for you. Face the reality. Let them know the truth. Stop acting as if you are a child. Let the people know that we messed up. I am not qualified to be an economist. When was the last time you spoke about the economy, Bawumia? You have been working around the nation saying, oh, your campaign. When was the last time you spoke on the economy? You have never spoken on the economy again, Adentra, because you know from day one you were lying to the people. You are waiting for mistakes to happen for you to pounce on it. We are not stupid. Mistakes will happen, but we are not going to give you an opportunity. Mistakes will happen, but we are not going to give you an opportunity because you are not intelligent enough to solve problems. And that is what you need to know. But we are going to be critical and factual. You do one grache. Onam Ghana yedi blade kan osi ye yedi tata blade kan osi we yedi Gillette kan osi say wada no ho hwa yen kan ho asem de bia no asrenke. We need to let you know the truth. Ain't get it right. Stop tickling yourself. Stop massaging your own balls. Face the reality. You lost not because you are a Muslim. You lost because the people don't trust you. You lost because the people know now you have been exposed. You are not smart. You are not intelligent. You cannot handle the economy of this nation. You lost because you are a liar. You lost because the people have no trust in you. Deal with these things. Deal with these things. And stop the comedy of you trying to be you are not going to get any sympathetic vote in Ghana again. The young Ghanaian is not willing to give anybody a sympathetic vote. The young Ghanaian is waiting for you to convince them through Wankasa Wanwasem and the young Ghanaian. So that 1992 kind of politics, Kwojo Oppong Santinio and NPP, it's about what you can do, especially when you have been a vice president. Nana Dankwa Kwojo in 2012 or whatever, when 2016. 90% of Omoto Abama Kwojo, they knew Kwojo wasn't smart. They knew Kwojo was ignorant. They knew Kwojo was daft. They knew he was a crackhead. Majority of the people who voted for Kwojo, they voted for Kwojo because of you. You were moving around the nation like a headless chicken, putting together symposium, explaining to Ghanaians how you can solve our economic problem. Yeah, the problem now going to solve it for 8 years. Today you are telling us, say, Yanko Israel. Nana obi a Jew ni and na onye Jew ni. Na wo tani de Jew for asem fa ho ben. Wo man prusini de two Israel ni wo Jews Israel for krum e fa ho ben. Mahamudu de wo hwa me omunim nyansa chen me. It is just that omunya opportunity need to sit here like myself. I will never sit here and think say nyansa chen will be. What I will do here is to make sure the facts and a media actual makano kreno Abraham mentioned skirt. Now who said the economy? You want penny for bebre mutie me. I cannot underestimate their intelligence. You want crab bebre mutie me. Yes, smart. Mean to me doing some handy. Minimyansa chiomo. So I will do my best to make sure say nipa na wotie me say ampa akwa we booming. That is what I do here, and that is what we will do here. Say near be na protect your bino. I protect John Mahama. I protect NDC abino. Omo mistake ayan twema omo. And I want to serve this message. We are Ghana ni now we Ghana. Let me say this. If you're a Ghanaian, it does not matter baby awo. Say Obi Bekachiro say they work with Kevin Tailor, especially at any of the ports in Ghana. That person is a liar and a thief. You need to report them to the Ghana Police Service. If you are an importer, you are an exporter, you work at the ports in Ghana, any of the ports. I want to put this out there because Matisse in Kofobi Dimidin and in Ghana ports no at the bonko for chrono. If I want to investigate people, I know the people I will send out there to do my investigations for me. And if you work at Ghana port, say we are exporter, we are importer, we are custom official. If anybody tells you Kevin Tailor is my friend, I have Kevin Tailor's number. In fact, I've spoken to Kevin Tailor, and that because of Kevin Tailor, give me this. That person is a thief. I want to put this out there. There are people going around in Ghana, especially at our ports, telling people that I am their friend and that they are extorting money from people. I don't work with anybody at the port. Mini obia ni Ghana port am ni ejuma. Me ekwamiti mento ade bia shipping by Ghana. Mento bibia da and shipping by Ghana. I have no business at the port. I don't work at the port. I don't have anybody who work for me at the port. If you are an investor, if you are an exporter, if you are an importer, na say obi ekachro say manisika way and that why a BB Kevin Tailor and Adamfu into that person is a criminal. So who means to reach me and I'll put the person's face on my TV for you. I don't deal with anybody at Ghana port. I don't work at Ghana port. Mini Adamphobia, mini Juma. I don't work with anybody. Maybe Ghana, I bet one or two of these things. And I want to put it out there. Nobody should give anybody any money. Nobody. Men tamusika ma obi enka say oye Kevin Tailor downfall or so one Kevin Tailor na ejuma or so we who say who ye bibi say me person me investigate obi a. I have ways I investigate people. And you the people doing that, I am working on you. I'll come put your faces on my TV. Samupa mo kro no abo monkobo mo kro no, take Kevin Taylor's name out. I want this record to be set and sana ma charge it. Mo amobo sa chrono no. Take my name out of your chrono. My guys are on the ground. We will get all of you, your pictures, your faces. I'll place them on my TV for the world to know chrono amobo no port. I don't work with anybody at the port. I need to put this disclaimer out. Because me charge ya a better time. We are juma port, we are importer, we are again. Obi Beka just South Africa Kevin Taylor Obwa is a liar. That person is a liar. It does not matter how long the person has worked at the port. Maybe you know the person. Maybe that person has been working at the port for years. It does not make me a friend to the person. Mema kwasi ampenyi bia mbeda ada o meji usika. Me American ameti, me nyejuma Ghana port. Me betina kroma me ntoka bia mba Ghana. Me nye business bia o port wo. Me nkanche bia so me investigation o port mame. The port, they have authorities there. So I want to put this out today. All right. The next time I come and speak on this matter, I'll put faces because my team, they are working on it. And I want to put faces up. Send be a Ghana for behu. Mo Ghana mo chrono in the name say we don't do anything bad, but we for mo den kofo din e bu kofo port. Mema obi ankobo mi din wo baby I say Madam Funi Kevin Taylor anti mamiska we hey. The next time I met sa no. Okay. Now Yanko enim. This is another story I want to kill. Where you one jandama, we need to finish that jandam quickly. And when they say NPP for no, they have nothing to hold on to. Right now, they are on the jandam spree. Omo pese omo forsia na omo de bibi esha Baumia kon. Baumia has nothing to his name. Let me state this. If Mahamudu Baumia believes, say, Waye Juma, he should run on Nanado Dankwe Kufuado's record. John Dramani Mahama or the Atamils, any JJ Rollins record, and or the Juma. In fact, 90% of John Mahama, time and now the campaign or person be the president, no. Every time you because was say time and now on any boss ye Juma no. Time on your opportunity, no. And this about me per se. Ghana for Jini say or ye Juma and the Kufuado or near Kufuado ye Juma. He should not run away or shy away from Ekufuado's record. Sa Baumia ntuma for Ekufuado anya ne campaign na Baumia nim so ne Ekufuado nyina omonya papa. Sa Mahamudu Baumia cannot tell us today say where the yamfa associate no. Now where the mama yamfa associate no. Identity yamfa PDS Ekufuado. Yamfa Napco Emma Ekufuado. Ada na yamfa scandals ne krono no Emma Ekufuado. Na ebidia yamfa ma Baumia adentra. Mahmoud Baumia should run on the Kufuado's record. En kwasiade Kufuado ye nyina no Baumia ka ho cabinet no ye. Now, the fake news, joy news, they are trying something. NPP for say Baumia only credibility biya, only record papa biya. So they are forcing something for Ghanaians to believe. We are here to kill that jandam. Now, that's sorry, joy news for say. A fact check be. Na claim say Mahamudu Baumia and the brain behind Bank of Ghana's domestic gold purchase program no kre. It is a lie. It is false. It is fake news. It's a lie. Joy News, they have taken money. They want to try and project Baumia. They know Baumia does not deserve any projection. I will say this on authority. The issue are Joy News person almost peddle the falsehood they want to peddle. The lies they want to put in the system that Baumia is the brain behind Bank of Ghana's domestic gold purchase program. No, it is false. It is not true. And let me tell you this. Your reason to I just say Baumia can never claim any credit for a domestic gold purchase program now. A C or Ghana no. You know the reason? Because the domestic gold purchase program no enya Mahamudu Baumia ene de buy it. gold a yɛtotɔ no wɔ Ghana edema Ghana a yɛde sie ema Ghana no yɛka sɛ domestic gold purchase program na gold na yɛtotɔ edema ɛyɛ Ghana yɛde kogu Bank of Ghana no ɛnyɛ Mahamudu Bawumia na start yɛ enti sɛ ɔmo pɛ sɛ ɔmo de credit bi ma Bawumia ɔmo fa E11 nkɔma Bawumia ɔmo fa PDS nkɔma Bawumia ɔmo fa dollar from 3.7 to 17 ɛmfa ma Bawumia ɔmo fa inflation that got all the way to 57% in ɛma Bawumia ɔmo fa all the atrocities the killing of people during elections no ɔmo fa ma Bawumia ɔmo fa ye car na ɛda so almost $1 trillion ɔmo fa ɛnso Bawumia ɔmo fa the DDEP ɔmo fa ma Bawumia. They cannot ignore all these things and come and tell us say domestic gold purchase program no Bawumia na de buy inti enye de yentuma Bawumia mabodam. You people are insane at multimedia. And if you think you can keep doing those jandam things, we are not going to allow anybody to lie to Ghanaians again. In fact, let's go into the wagon. Yanko wagon, team, stay with me. Now, when you look at this document, 2021, where ye Ernest Addison, 2021, the time ana omo lanche, what we call the domestic gold purchase program. Remarks by Dr. Ernest Addison, Governor, Bank of Ghana, 2021. And Bank of Ghana, ankasa ekasa, the Governor Addison na oneba umiani kufuadu eye juma. They were launching this program, domestic gold purchase program. Now, we as a Ghana, you see, so as a nation, you will go da yani ankasa yato toigu hoda na. It's a big question, and it's a question that we need to answer. Now, so one gets go back into the records, sir. Time a Bank of Ghana in 2021, almost launch a domestic gold purchase program. No, the governor of the Bank of Ghana said something. Now, Mume Yankoshe Adia Okaye. Now, when you read the document, on one speech, we are going to take our time and do this. Senebeya, Kwasiebi Enkase, Mahmoud Bawumia did domestic gold purchase program. No, ebaye. What Joy News put out there is false. Never, or ever believe Sasabna Joy News Akano. Now, the CEO of the Minerals Commission was there. The CEO Ghana Chamber of Mines. The CEO Precious Minerals Marketing Company PMMC was there. CEO of mining companies were there. Director and staff of Bank of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the speech of Addison. Now, mommy see the speech of Addison. Now you say, domestic gold purchase program no. Bawumia de buy and I say it was something that existed already before Mahmoud Bawumia came into office. It says this, the introduction. It says, good afternoon to all, and let me welcome you all to this special event. This is Addison speaking. This is his introduction. It is a great pleasure to be part of this momentous occasion of launching Bank of Ghana's domestic gold purchasing program. You will recall that during the February 2021 MPC press conference, I had projected that we will be ready to commence this program by the middle of the year. 2. This event is indeed historic, as it marks the first time the Bank of Ghana is embarking on a domestic gold purchasing to augment our foreign reserves with a view of doubling gold holdings in our foreign exchange reserves portfolio. Or say, historic because this is the first time Ghana, to gold, de kwakwe dey, akoka gold ye wo hoda da ho. You can say augment. That means uwo gold wo hoda da. Na sebio na enseni inti o launch program wo ya gold na ye ba benya nsisia no ye de ba be ka de wo ho. You can say augmenter. Ebi wo ho na ye de soso ana ye hyemu kena. Inti omo be ye launch we na gold wo ho na enye dodo no. Ye program we na de be ka dodo no ho. Meaning the statement was telling you, say, we already had gold reserve. Now gold will hold that. Whether it was bought from outside or from Ghana, Ghana already had reserves. Now gold is siho. Now, So Okunima or say this event is indeed historic as it marks the first time Bank of Ghana is embarking on domestic gold purchasing to augment our foreign reserves with a view to doubling gold holdings in our foreign exchange reserves portfolio. Now, it therefore marks a significant change in the modus operandi of Bank of Ghana's foreign exchange reserve management operation. Enti, okurenim no, now person just say, yesika ewo dollar any gold no. Sa domestic gold program we are omo air launch no. Eno na edi gold ni bi eba beka ye dollars ewo edi sebio ye den ye gold na ebi wo no. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me share a little bit of history on the importance of gold as a monetary asset. During the era of the gold standard, currency issued by central bank has to be fully backed by I want you to get all the facts. Team, stay with me. I say, gold measured in troy ounces at that time. The gold standard measure of assessing the strength of currencies was later abandoned at the turn of the 20th century when economies began printing currencies without the backing of gold. Since this transition, currencies have been backed by a variety of instruments, including gold, government bills and stocks, and first-class bills of exchange. In fact, when Ghana issued its jurisdictional currency in 1958, the original currency cover assets for the currency issued included gold, sterling, and core money in the United States, in the United Kingdom, and British Treasury bills with maturities not exceeding 3 months, among others. Now, when you go to the part that is marked red, say na Addison Kaye, or say the history of monetary management has revealed that while gold in the reserve cover mix was not given much weight, the history of monetary management has revealed that while gold in the reserve cover mix was not given much weight, the managers of the economy during the 1960-61 financial year took a bold decision to increase the amount of gold to be held in the cover asset mix for the cedi. As a result of this decision, a small amount of refined gold valued at around $3.7 million at that time was bought overseas and transported to the bank's vault. The fall in the value of gold in the 1960s saw a shift in policy away from gold as a cover asset to foreign currency and securities. Now, what Addison was trying to say, when it comes to gold reserves, you will be. But the difference between the Baomiamo de Baye and the order that in say, in 1960, 61, no, yeah, the Ghana Sika eto gold. Remember, that time, no, we could not refine gold as Ghanaians. We did not have refineries whereby we can walk in and take the raw gold and do what? And go refine. Remember, we didn't have the technology to refine gold. So what we did was that even though we had gold, we had to go buy refined gold and then do what? Come keep in our reserve. So technically, even though those gold, you know, na enya Ghana and the refinery keeping our reserve, no, we still had to go out and go get gold to keep in our reserve. So at that point, they had to go buy gold with gold to come and keep in our reserve. Until gold reserve was there. Now the difference with what Bawumia Dems came to do was that they saw an advantage. Say now they can do more galamsey and get more gold. So they created what we call the domestic gold purchase program. Now they knew, say there was gold at that time. Technology had advanced to this point. 2021, we could do what? Refine our own gold and keep in the Bank of Ghana. That is why in 2021 we were able to say yenya per se ye 2 year gold near refining near keeping of Ghana. In 1960, we did not have any refinery in Ghana. You bet my refining raw gold, the rock, the ore, and then save at the Bank of Ghana. Yen to mean tubo bano. Then Tambo Bano and Kogu Bank of Ghana said, this is gold. We were supposed to work on the gold. We were supposed to work on the stones, the rocks, to turn into refined gold. Near any technology into what we had to do was to bring the gold and keep in the reserve. Now, in 2021, Ghana moved to the point whereby we can refine gold in Ghana. So a government comes and says, see, to me, refining gold or Ghana there. Why don't we buy the gold in Ghana and keep in our reserve? Into gold reserve, no, it is not new. The difference is that in 2021, Ghana has come to that point whereby technology may refine gold or Ghana. Into Bank of Ghana through a PMMC can buy gold and reserve it. So that is all. It is so because they say Mahmoud Bawumia and because of the domestic gold purchase program, no, I had the first time I purchased gold or Ghana. They are lying. It was because in the 60s we could not refine the gold in Ghana. And if we could not refine the gold in Ghana, did not mean that we did not have gold reserve. The gold that we went out there to get, no, it was gold that we had to sell gold to go buy and to come keep the reserve. And there's nothing new here. Bawumia for any extraordinary idea for Fribian. Now, let's say, let us give it to Bawumia. Say, Mahmoud Bawumia. Thank you, team. Yamfan say, Bawumia and a domestic gold purchase program to buy. Let's give it to Bawumia, right? My team said a short break. They want to do something on the TV. TV is breaking. So many people are saying TV is having some scratches in TV. We are going to make a quick turn for TV to get back, and then we can continue. The domestic gold purchase program by Yamfanisa. Now, domestic gold purchase program. No, now the reason now I'm to buy na dia ain't no this reason to buy because joy for any NPP for say by force Yamfa sa no Emma Bawumia. That's fine. Now, Mahmoud Bawumia himself, when they were launching the gold domestic gold purchase program, no, he made a statement. In fact, so check NPP for Omokacha say gold for oil, no. The gold for oil was the domestic gold purchase program, no. It was basically about gold for oil. Now, yes, sir, all because they needed a lot of gold to go and buy the oil, to go and exchange for oil. And I say petrol, diesel, and I say whatever you call the petroleum products. Now, the question here is, so Mahmoud Bawumia na de a domestic gold purchase program the buyer na. What did we get from that program? Now let's go listen to Mahmoud Bawumia himself. After that, make us a
Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has defended Ghana's new controversial policy of buying oil with gold instead of with US dollars. Dr. Bawumia said the current economic challenges facing the country called for an initiative like that, which according to him will ease the pressure on the economy and save the country billions of cedis.
Take the case of gold in Ghana. We've mined gold for over 200 years. When I looked at the data, realized that our total reserves of gold in Ghana was just 8.7 tons at the end of 2021. The largest gold mine, one of the largest, we are in the top 10 in the world. But we had not accumulated enough gold to build our reserves. We looked at the other side of the balance sheet. We export gold, we import oil. The cost of oil imports is about $3 billion a year. So we asked this simple question. Why don't we, since we have always got pressure on finding US dollars to buy oil, why don't we rather reach an agreement to exchange our gold for oil and then sell the oil in cedis, then use the cedis to buy more gold, use that gold to pay for oil, sell the oil in cedis, and then you don't need to look for scarce foreign exchange to buy oil, which always leads to a depreciation in the currency. So with this idea, we said, let's do something that the textbooks don't teach. Let's do something that is out of the box. And this is why we said gold for oil. And we quickly looked at this and we negotiated with the suppliers of oil who were very, very excited and happy to receive gold in payment. Thankfully, yesterday, I think yesterday was Monday, right? Yes, yesterday was Monday. Yesterday, Ghana took its first delivery of oil under the gold.
So it's here Baumia. Onwankasa can say the gold for oil program no they buy, you know. It was basically to buy oil. It wasn't about keeping gold at the Bank of Ghana in our reserves. Utie Nikasan will say they looked at our reserves and we had low gold. That means we didn't have gold. So they devised a plan, and that plan was that the idea of gold for oil, beba. It's gold for oil, no. The main aim for gold for oil was for them to take our gold and go exchange it for oil, not to take our gold and keep them in the vault or keep them in the Bank of Ghana. The main reason for gold for oil was to take the gold and go exchange for oil and then come and sell the oil in cities. It is so because you say the domestic gold purchase program no Baumia the buyer. Anything you says about Baumia the buyer. What was the main reason for that gold purchase program? No, they were purchasing the gold not to keep the gold. They were purchasing the gold to go and exchange for oil. Now the question here is, gold for oil, no, as we speak today, ewa hefa. A DNA free gold for oil nim. Today as we speak, say I say gold for oil now, does it exist? Gold for oil has been cancelled because Nippon Okofa gold for oil buy, you know. At the end of the day, no, he ended up making so much losses to the point whereby in just 2024 they made 2.14 billion Ghana cedis loss gold for oil. It is how to join now can say we should give the credit, the brain behind a domestic gold purchase program. Now domestic gold purchase program, no, how did it benefit Ghanaians? Because at the end of the day, the gold for oil that you are touted to say by Omiana de Bayano, we made a loss close to 2.2 billion just in 2024. So you ask yourself, say, how can you tell us, say, this is something that we have to give credit and tell Ghana for, say, because or the idea your friend domestic gold purchasing program by at the end of the day the gold that we purchased under Baumiano sa gold the gold in the oil ye wie ne ye boka ye wie ne ye nyina ye twemu say amfa so ambre Ghana. So for somebody to sit at Joy News or multimedia and tell us to say Baumia is the brain. You can be brain behind anything, but at the end of the day, how does it benefit the people? Obianim nyansa, nanso ka krebi na wa adwene a omutudi omadwene ebo nipa. Sebio ye nyina ye chechira asase we no. Na obi agya ne nan. But at a point, some people sat down and said, ejanan ombetuma convert ejanan de bibi into obianim nyansa, but badwen bankwa na tumi da. Emma Sebio, Sanyansana, etumi dane ade ebetuma bo nipa. If you are the brain behind domestic gold purchase program, the question here is the brain behind it, how did it benefit the people? If you are the brain behind it and it does not benefit the people or it never benefited the people, then you basically did not think through anything. You cannot take credit for anything because adwene already idea no nyansa na emu eha entumi ansesa anything entumi ansesa bra. Intima fa bibia ambeka Ghana yesika sam ehun. If you tell me say we should give Baumia that credit, there should be a reason why we give somebody credit. Credit na yamfama no for dien. Because any fool can think about we as a nation buying gold from Ghana. But at the end of the day, you to gold we are a dien infaso ni nya was gold in him. So this guy and what the Joy News guys are trying to push, a jandam, it is fake. Baumia has never been the brain behind gold reserves. From 1960, the records are there. You can go back and check. From 1960, 1961, when you go into the archive, this is an IMF document. 1960, 1961, gold, now you talk gold, a reserve war Ghana. In 1960, we did not have refineries in Ghana. Into gold near toy and a reserve, we had to go get that gold. Right now in 2021, Now refineries in Ghana. Until decided say, yeah, gold, you better na ya way you the good Bank of Ghana. It is not different. There's nothing extraordinary about the domestic gold purchase program. There's nothing extraordinary about it. It's member being Ghana. And can't Ghana for say Bawumia is the brain behind what? Ghana had gold in our reserves before Bawumia was born. It make nobody sit in Ghana and try to throw lies in the system and make it look like say Bawumia is some exceptional intelligent human being. He is not. We gave Bawumia the whole country to run. Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he's daft. He cannot read. We gave Bawumia this country to run. Basic. He could not. Under Bawumia and Akufo-Addo, yet to oil chain, President Tibiawaba, these two idiots could not run this basic country. Nobody should sit in Accra and think say they can put things out there and make it look like say Bawumia ni mnyansama. Bawumia ni mnyanse biya. Let me tell you this. Let me show you this. And Mr. Eric Opoku, the Agric minister, and maybe both video we the Agric minister reacted to this domestic gold reserve issues here, Abe. Domestic gold purchase program we. The Agric minister went to Asempa and Makak Ache Ghana for say in Konfona Moti radio Suni TV so Ghana dodona bodam dodona ya kromfo. You see, Obi Mune sa joy news for we no because Sami Jemfi I an adwene say because John Mahama I an adwene say because NDC are buying I imagine say they are not going to feed them, they are not going to give them money, no. They have this idea say they want to create an impression to say Abangwe is doing nothing and that Bawumia is intelligent. Ghana for nim sebio and if for credit himself Bawumia nim nyansa. Bawumia nim nyansa de chichire man. Bawumia true for. Now, Mr. Rikopoku was on a sempa and Obi busan a question. And he asked Obi question me. It was so interesting, say Obusa a question about 3 times. Obi refused to answer him. You know why? Because the moment Obi answers the moment he answers that question, it makes Ghana for who say Mahmoud Bawumia, he is not the brain behind the gold reserves we have today in Ghana. But you see, some got na radio so because they think say they try to find ways to make listeners think say Bawumia de onimnyansa mama Bawumia ma me kanasem. Eric Opoku ya bi. In his deliberation, he was asking Obi a simple question. But unim the reason. Unim the Obi here. Obi refused to answer that question. Because the moment he answers the question, and the funny thing is, it is not like Obi nim answer no. Even the ordinary Ghanaian now, sebio so unko school dano. When he asked that person that question, Obama will answer. But for some reason, Obi decided not to give an answer. All because Sir Oma answer the paymaster Bawumia and NPP for no. They will say, why have you thrown Bawumia under the bus? They know, sir, what they are doing at Asempa Multimedia, Joy News, no, it is jandam. It is fake news. They keep on doing it because they don't respect the intelligence of Ghanaians. Mr. Rikopoku, any Obi. Obebusa Obi questioned me about 3 times. Obi will never answer him. Now, no.
Would you also be fair?
Yeah.
And acknowledge Dr. Bawumia and his role in getting this program through and the economy in your benefit?
You're the kind of, so would you also be fair?
Yes.
In the first one, admit to say, my affair. No,
yes.
What me said, you can hang now.
Yes.
My affair.
Yes.
And was a messiah fair, I recognize it, say, Dr. Bawumia, the buy, it says,
yes.
Dr. Bawumia, or they go for reserve no buy and go for oil. 2 projects.
Yes.
At the end of the year, no, 2 years, a time I implemented under the watch in 2022, 2023, 2024. I will know as head of the economic management, so go to in our boka.
Yeah, a cabai.
Sure. Good. Oboka in the the ultimate near person destabilize crisis, no? Yenya. The ultimate near person destabilize crisis, no? Yenya. As head of the economic management, so go to in our boka.
Yeah, a cabai.
Sure. Good. Oboka in the as head of the economic management team no sa go do to yin na oboka
yeah e ka buy
sure good oboka ni nyina achi no the ultimate na person destabilize prices no yenya Bajo yenyai
ma mencha twen on Eriko Poku busa ne say Samoka sa Baumia and they go for oil buy or they go for reserve buyer. The ultimate was to stabilize the city. The ultimate was to stabilize the economy. And na Opoku busa ne say Samosa Baumia and they go for oil buyer or they go for reserve buyer. The reason here the buyer no did he accomplish the reason? Obusa obi say yenya sanfa so no wama answer. O say yenya ye. Una ye chocho ni a ultimate. Samosi emfa credit maba omia. On the good for oil buyer, on the good for reserve buyer, on the brain behind it. The main reason was that Okachre say that good for oil policy and good for reserve policy was to stabilize the city, was to stabilize the economy. Eriko Poku Busane say, "U obi yasam troni." Ba omia na okasa no yenya were we able to accomplish that? Osi yenya ye. Onse na otiwo. Osi on my answer. Osabusani biom yenya because so the policy bar at the end of the day there was a reason for the policy and the policy was to stabilize the economy, was to stabilize the city. Now the question here is so the policy aba na to me and solve that problem then that policy you brought is a waste of everybody's time. You are even supposed to be jailed. Inti obusa wusam troni now okay kan cha me call. Mo amosima call law school now munim nyansa cha Ghana for no. Eriko Poku busa ne say wo so ye Ghana ni debia wuti radio so o kind brofo o chenche nsemu o ka chere nkofo some ordinary Ghanaians muna munim nyansa. You know more than the people in Ghana know. Una oti radio so debia obusa wo say the gold for oil only gold for reserve na ba omia ne say ode bae no e kana ye boy no the ultimate result na did we accomplish it? Obusa obi wo so ye Ghana ni obusa na dey na obi kan ye oto ho din unim. He did not give an answer because the moment Obebi and Anwaka said, Dabi Yenyano, it defeats Bawomia's introduction of gold for oil and introduction of gold for reserve. And now they are not ready to let Ghana Fono say Bawomia failed when it comes to the gold for oil or the domestic gold purchase program. And I say gold for reserve. They don't want to admit on national radio or TV, say Mahmoud Bawumia actually failed on that front. And for him not to tell his boss, say you have failed on radio, no, he was quiet. And because would hear radio this is no obi enim otikamu obi will not answer because the moment obi answers everybody gets to know say host na confirm say Bawumia bon and it he stayed away from answering the guy. That means that the host is a diabolic host. The host is a liar. He is playing on your conscience. They are doing the bidding of Mahmoud Bawumia even though they know Bawumia bon. They know Bawumia is a bad meat. Bawumia e munafiki. He is, with all due respect, so you prekwa or you tongue cry and talk. They know. Obi munim say Bawumia has failed on all fronts. That is why, so we have video ma. Yan somebody.
Would you,
Dr. Bawumia na de buy? Yes. Dr. Bawumia or they go for reserve no buy and go for oil. Two projects.
Yes.
At the end of the year, no, 2 years a time I implemented under the watch in 2022, 2023, 2024. Our no atia kunyaso as head of the economic management team no. Sa go do to yin na oboka.
Yeah, e ka buy.
Sure. Good. Oboka ni nyina achi no. The ultimate near person destabilize prices no. Yenya. Bajo yenya. Am I a problem no sa kwa yekese? Sa go do to yin na oboka.
Yeah, e ka buy.
Sure. Good. Oboka ni nyina achi no. The ultimate near person destabilize prices no. Yenya. Bajo yenya. Am I a problem no sa kwa yekese?
But you credit him for at least starting this.
Oh, just say, my creditor. Me obi am a generous pa.
Okay.
I dream papa. So just say, but also now
But he is still insisting on the credits. Of a sound bite, no. Eriko Poku, udi kasewa Bawumia credit. And in here no. It is not about decoding the Bawumia na enye yenya results bia, because at the end of the day, so the policy bar Ghana for the additional policy dim ain't say a boka, you have caused financial loss to the state. Inti ayade na obi ni yebusa de say sa the main reason tia this out yiniba and yenyan wankasa, but he was quick to say oh, but I was all crediting no. Now obi Jimmy I don't mean crediting no. Crediting him, and what did we get out of the credit? You see, we sit on radio and make it look like say you just have to say let's give this person credit. Any idiot can be given credit, but the issue is at the end of the day, a dinner ni pani and because a cromfo kwa more credit. Obi timi ko rob bank bi say we the money credit na bank we it was fortified. Sibia near ye walls na otumi wi ade no just say or say credit no. It does not mean say nipa na de no ye na ye. It does not mean say cromfo no ye china ye njeli no. It Bawumia you telling us to give him credit no. It does not justify say Bawumia is dumb. It does not justify say Bawumia is not intelligent. It does not justify that Bawumia caused financial loss to the state. It still does not justify that Bawumia could not, at the end of the day, as some kind, he could not go through it to become a successful one. No, it shows clearly say Bawumia has failed. Until let us accept these things, let us help guide the conversation. Na yama Ghana for who no kreno. Mamu mi enjoy tagni etna radio so na ye na ye da Ghana for na sika kakra ba ya ko school nti ye light book kakra betu nti nipa beto ka ache nti, then we are imposing liars, people who did us damage on Ghanaians. We should not do that. We cannot force liars on Ghanaians. We cannot force atrofo on Ghanaians. We cannot make it look like say Bawumia bon still I am Bawumia. It does not work. You're 2026. The young Ghanaians sitting there on Jimmy. Let us stop all this comedy of trying to make some people think so much Jimmy. At the end of the day, credit. You can give credit to even a madman. You to because I call you bodama efe. With the moment credit no bodama na efe. It does not mean he say on board them. Until we crediting Bawumia, does not mean Bawumia is dumb. Does not mean say on your dumb. He is dumb. Does not mean he did not cause financial loss to this country. He caused financial loss to the country. Does not mean say the main reason why into this our policy is by to me achieve, we could not achieve it. What is credit? If you give credit to people and the credit could not benefit the people, what is the sense in that credit? Into Mumianja Jimino, Mahamudu Bawumia is daft. He has failed on all fronts. We are not going to allow anybody to create the impression say Bawumia is smart and intelligent and he has introduced some new thing. Bawumia introduced BBR. We were saving gold before Bawumia was born. Bawumia had to go for oil buy or to go for reserve buy. At the end of the day, Oboka, you try go for oil. There's a new order in town. We are not going to allow you people to kill, to lie to Ghanaians. We will kill Jandam. Now, there is one story I want us to also talk about, and you're busy. Tall. Now, under NPP. Watch as store resumes crude oil refining after years of inactivity. Ye kasa. Amount for a day. And one year, gold for oil. Anko su year, young so much jiminti. Ye pese bibia near the say Ghana and the NPP. Bibia cost to be ompe. Everything, they have a problem with it. But yeni Ghana for. Yeni eti Ghana. Yeni nim de cost Ghana. And the obin kinkai. Enchire you, yeni a kinkai. And you'll be the busa questions, my yeni busa questions, and we just don't sit and take any answer. We wait for reasonable answers. For a very long time, Tema oil refinery Kwojo Nkrumah and Italians, ekesieni around the 60s. Na was a refinery go a oil maye, emiankasa ye fan we Ghana. Was ye to me enane, etieni, etumi use bi etombino. For a very long time, Tema oil refinery, abaya bama abanko. Tema oil refinery esabe life in 2016. From 2012 to 2016. And Tema oil refinery, the destiny changing for the better. It was that come Tema John Mahama emerge bust. Any Tema oil refinery. That was when we saw Tema oil refinery start to work again. After John Mahama every power in 2016. And a Tema oil refinery, a MPP for a Daneno tank farm. What they were doing in the say, na pomo ene Kennedy Japan money omo maka wa aban mu no omo petrol ene omo diesel no because they wanted a place to store it no omo sorry omo making sure say Tema Oil Refinery would never be put to use and yejuma effectively. The tanks were always empty. Send a bayer omo betumi akostore omo diesels ene omo petrol e Tema Oil Refinery. It for 8 years under Kwojo, we saw a government that neglected Tema Oil Refinery. Now, some politicians were keeping their oils, their stolen diesel, stolen petrol. Bawomiani nebusianfo, Kennedy Japan nebusianfo, Naponi nasefo, NPP for they turned Tema Oil Refinery into a tank farm, whereby omunya omo illicit their diesels na petrol na. That is where they were storing it. Under Kwojo ne Bawumia for 8 years. They did everything possible to make sure, say, Tema Oil Refinery, no, it never worked. And we all saw what happened under Kwojo and Bawumia. All that they did was that they did everything possible to make sure, say, ASI Refinery, no matter what, Oma for Sikabia and Shem, near Nkrumah. And another danko Kwojo. Efa car, on Bawumia, Echemu Tema Oil Refinery, Echo, Bibi Efreno, another private refinery, Echo commission a private refinery. Your friend saying, Messias, what's the name of that refinery? What's the name of that private refinery now? Whatever. What's the name? Nanado Dankwe Kwojo. Any Mahamudu Bawumia. They got in cars. Omutina kamu. And omuya deng. Omuko Tema. Get me the name. They bypassed a year to Tema Oil Refinery a year Ghanaian owned. They bypassed it and they went all the way to Central Oil and commissioned Central Oil. Chinese sini any politicians for be oil refinery a refinery company. They bypassed it and they went to refine a foreign person's refinery. And with the same Tema enclave. It shows you say MPP way, Bawumia MPP way, Kwojo Kennedy Japan MPP way Jimmy. They don't care anything about Ghana. Yeti Nkrumah na papa Kwojo so ba Ghana always no trade. Yeti yana ya papa Kwojo time ship edi koko ship need to be Irana koko na de keti amo na no so ko. Yeti yana papa Kwojo Ghana Telecom no trade. That is what they do when they come to power. Adebia ye Kwame Nkrumah muja obia no maton wedi. Now, what they did was for the past 8 years now, omutina bemu no. Omu free power no. Na Tema Oil Refinery under Kwojo ne Bawumia na omo de eka $570 million. Eka Kwojo and Bawumia mo eboto Tema Oil Refinery. What they did was that they were using the refinery to store their diesels near Fiha. And I mean a whole scandal on the former GRA boss, your friend saying Kennedy Damwa, on phone with another custom official. No more say Jubilee House the illegal drug a diesel be every Nigeria said yen motor the pirates wa omo de ba store ewo edie ebeti wa mo no murefi. Yes, omo free power no na Tema Oil Refinery ke da ho na $540 million. And so to me could be a Central Oil. Now at a point in our history in 2024 they told us to say Tema Oil Refinery it was worth $22 million and come over beton. At a point, oko Tema Oil Refinery na camera ebini ho na omo twitwa metals ni nyina container omo twitwa de alumi na omo de ye coal pot na obi akwa osia higher media na twitwa ne akoton. At a point, Tema Oil Refinery na refinery ni nipa ni ho na Bawumia Kennedy Japan na pomo no store omo diesel omo stolen oil ni diesel. Ne no, in 2023, they told us to say Tema Oil Refinery, it was worth $22 million. They wanted to sell it to themselves. Now, when the ACA Sebio quite interesting. In less than a year, the NDC government led by John Mahama, they have been able to put Tema Oil Refinery to work. And the Menokasana workers at Tema Oil Refinery. Omo enane fango etieni ama Ghana yenya homfaso in less than 1 year. Let's go listen to the Tema Oil Refinery CEO.
The Tema Oil Refinery, both the CDU and the RFCC has not run from 2019 and 2021. So the refinery has not run. It's been dormant. It literally has been turned into a tank farm. President Mahama came when he appointed us, so we went there. The refinery has a debt of $570 million that was left by the previous government. It is in disrepair. It needs a lot of maintenance, turnaround maintenance that has not been done. But the refinery is a strategic national asset. It is something that when attention is paid to, it can actually be an important ingredient in our country's economic recovery. The CDU and the RFCC combined capacity is 45,000 metric tons. And there was a new furnace that was bought by President Mahama between 2015 and 2016. If that furnace is commissioned, it will send the barrels per stream day to 60,000. And if that happens, the refinery can do between 45 to 60% of the national need. And when that happens, it means that it will have the amount of dollars that we need every month to import refined petroleum product. Because currently, we spend $400 million importing refined petroleum product. When TOR is back, that number is going to be halved.
Now, Debbie, I'm catching Ghana for Abanwe Abana was here protect Abanwe. You and I, we need to protect this government, especially this president. This is not a joke. This is what we have to be discussing now. This is extraordinary. Omobeto eka $517 million. Nanado Dankwe Kufuado Bawumia Kennedy Japan. Kennedy not that boss to say GMPC board so boss. Napo Bawumia onini nuanom. They left $517 million eka enom the two tema oil refinery so. Enomuko be a Sentio oil. Omni Chinese ni ene kusibuating. Sentio oil kusibuating shares wom. Nanado Dankwe Kufuado ne Bawumia ne ko enom ko commission Sentio. From Sentio oil to Tema oil refinery, and do 10 miles. Is it not despicable? And your time. Omunyina she suit and omukotina Sentio and omu commission Sentio. Na omu boka good Tema oil refinery made in Ghana, Ghana for there. $517 million. Omu jatu war. They didn't touch it. In less than a year, Abambia ba etumia turn it through the CEO. Etumia turn it TOR into an active refinery. Okay, let me say, I should sit here and allow these monkeys, these inner monkeys, to come rule Ghana again? You want me to sit here and tell you, say, the same monkeys who placed $517 million debt on TOR, you want me to sit here and tell you that these monkeys are intelligent and that we should hand over the country to them? What we are building today, if we hand over the country to these monkeys, these NPP monkeys, they will run us down. And that is something they have been doing for years. So let's not sit here and make it look like, say, we have started resetting and rebuilding. Yeah, my own 42 years. After 42 years, Obian to me and Sanka Ghana and say no. For now, we should not allow the inner monkeys to come close to our development. They will destroy the nation. They will come back and tell you, say, they are superior human beings than you because these are people who are not ready and willing to help us build. Sanka NPP for the Myansa and Kenden Kosomia press conference, Nomaka said they want to applaud John Mahama for making sure a national asset, Kwame Nkrumah Jaya, Napodidi Kwame Nkrumah terminal, that national asset has been revived. And NPP for the Myansa, Sanka Baomia, Kennedy Mo, someone a mambofon and community Myansa, they will shoot on their campaign, be applauding John Mahama for putting TOR to work. Tema oil refinery here, Juma, and internet and the petrol. Abafom and it and the auto petrol before it is working not even at its full capacity. So imagine, say, the next 8 years, 10 years, 12, 20, 40 years, the NDC is in power and making sure, say, you see another refinery account. How much a better petrol? This is how you are supposed to think. Now, and these are the steps they are taking. A refinery, not a deca. $570 million, almost to me, turning around. The Tema Oil Refinery has taken a major step to strengthen efficiency with the commissioning of a new fleet of operational vehicles. This strategic investment, funded entirely through TOR's internally generated funds, marks the first major logistical upgrade since 2013 and signal a renewed drive towards productivity and sustainability. Now, with appreciation to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Honorable John Jinapor, the board, management, and resilient TOR workforce, this milestone sets the refinery firmly on the path of revitalization and progress. This is under John Mahama. And one name say anka TOR bedru point bia, we are retooling TOR. And there can be a friend IGF, internally generated fund. TOR anka said to my yedumenya sika edia to cars edia to equipment e pese e de boama TOR edwuma koso. TOR na under Bawumia, under Kennedy Japan, under Ekufuado. TOR na edeka $517 million no, and the TOR etumia 10 year around under JM, under NDC. In less than 2 years, etumia kreti sika aye jumenya internally etumia kreti sika etumi air TOR equipment to make sure TOR ejina naso. You said I should hand the country over to this NPP hooligans. I should give the country back to these inner monkeys. They don't care. All that they understand is to steal. All that they understand is to make fun of us, to insult us in our faces, to steal money and go keep on islands, to steal money and take to the UK. These are not people we can hand over a nation to again. If you're a Ghanaian, you should be proud. Abana Wotowoto ebin You should be proud. Say what to Abama John Mahama NDC. Be proud, because through you, through Abana Wotowoto yenti yetume save Kwame Nkrumah TOR. Kwame Nkrumah Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah TOR no. In history bedu some point because say yen save TOR. Sanke yanto ba ama NDC amba power anka Kwame Nkrumah TOR no anka sheye essay. Intimino me and making history. We should be very proud, and we should protect the history that we have made. And how do we protect it? We have to make sure consistency, keeping this NDC government in power for the next 41 years to protect Yene Dieyepe. So it is not a joke. We have made history. You should be proud. I was all my wenije. Say, oh yeah, CPP ni nanda otigana ma weninje nama fa ayede wakoma pa support to NDC because adena Kwame Nkrumah ye na CPP mubo mu dewuro no and the NDC ababa be ye. NDC asabe revival no. Into your CPP ni a technical your NDC ni to so do vote my NDC twaso. Allow the inner monkeys to fool. Allow the hooligans to fool. They will never see anything good in what we are doing or the building we are building because they just come, destroy, kill, and then disappear. That is what they do. Kind of right away. He came to destroy. He came to steal, and then he has disappeared. Kind of right away. He came to destroy, he came to steal, and then he disappeared. That is their trademark. That is their modus operandi. That is how they are built. Almost blueprint. Almost this is how they are. They come, they destroy, they steal, and then they run. And they have been doing it since time. Almost started here. They are snitches for the foreigners. We more concept for snitches, and that is what they have been doing for years. So we need to be happy. We need to be very, very, very confident in moving forward. You know, we all have to be focused. We have all made history today. We have revived Tema Oil Refinery. We have revived the refinery, and we should be happy because when you see this lit up, it should tell you that you have made history. So, NPP for the Omojimi, they be a catch Ghana for NPP for naturally they are foolish. They don't understand. They just don't want to accept to say Ghana for no is here yini ya jinu bie ye nyankwasiafo biem ye ma obi for tribe or sumbi ene atrobi and ada ye biem. They still don't get it. They still don't respect Ghana for. They still think say we are joking. The NPP, the reality, still they don't want to accept the reality. Ghana for nyam kwasiafo mo nyoma sesan. Yenjimi biemo. And they did bronya wa Ghana, a whole bronya the new year. The whole of Ashanti region yanye program ya ho. In this NDC ama mbesi a national theater wa Ashanti region. Ye be di bronya the next 40 years ye di bronya Kumasi. And they di bronya wa Ghana. Bronya boa santimite said the Jones abo akoko. Aden. And so they be sorry Ubehu NPP nkwasiafo we Ashanti region dey stronghold. Ashanti region ya papa kofo Asantini ba odi mokodi nchine obedi president 8 years. Weekend be no be yo Kumasi when to me and see a place. Ratchet Park and this is for the Bayamamo. Asantini this show when to me anka said abi mami see a place ye bet to me agada ye boja. For 8 years odi Kumasi atrenchie Obonsan bi ewo Kumasi efran tuma kese ekwoyie ya papa kofo Asantini bema odi bofro nkwan de nsa kutu ne hwena no wentumi anye bibi wa Asante a ye betuma be di djuma wa Asante a aka se nipa 10,000 7,000 akoshem wentumi anye bi achichide we oni abozegi jimijimi we so baaye 80 years Ashanti region is our stronghold party de efuru masha Asante memu ende ebe sinne NPP entumi ka se upon vote omnya wa Asante memu nyina no to me see even one edificer ye betumi aye a whole program wo ha insuo to anipa nwane ye twan my NDC asaba be see a national theater in the Ashanti region ye di bronya a whole bronya program ba kumpa nkoso Asante memu I was started adani kurase and Asante ye di bronya aise kusie bon emu aye tum. And Asante memu ye di bronya ye di Easter ye event kusiempo entuma ma Asante memu be organize one program one sanyoma we ntina metena wa na mahwe me chips da bi metu kwan meni abie de opa de paba kotokono ye ndi na bro mema NDC fo sanyoma ni nyina ye di mpuntu abafie na debia ye sori a ene ye NPP for ye stronghold ya Asante memu na ye di bronya kra Ghana keke bronya enkura program kra kiddie fest ye ntumi nya bi Kumasi kiddie fest anka osankema eye funny fest host ni ama no 50,000 300,000 Ghana share ho no ye ntumi amfa kiddie fest amba Kumasi kiddie fest ye ntumi pondi kiddie fest Kumasi Kida Fest. I inquire beto everywhere I go. Bam and I say this is dangerous. Yen to be Kida Fest to Kumasi, Yatiama NPP for. This is what we're talking about. And Ghana be Biabejin Ángry. And the artists will Kumasia or Bonyo Makope, no afan Tuma, or Fan Kukusaka, no better Ángry. Obi a Juma or a businessman, no afan Tuma, no afan Kukusaka, no better Ángry. Iti adi se sesiano ye jai asantemana manada ne kurase ayese kusie bomu bibia nkoso NDC for ya na besi eye sewia ebesi afare NDC for ya na besi kejetia eye NDC for ensambra biem enti de ntina wo so wa asantememu oya ho me NPP ni a otoma NPP for hu asantefo so me nkurase fo na pomu ende Kumasi no enkran no mote na pomu ende enkran no mote Omo pe enkran jantrafo chen Kumasi fo jantrafo ebise Kumasi fo jantrafo te TikTok din kwasi asem ba enkran fo jantrafo omo ni TikTok omo ye bibia coded inti bibia sesa akwa wo mi ne mensemi mabodam inti edu sometime moma ye hu se je ekoso ye bie Ghana nim ti de bia NDC na mbeye na moma etumi no so ne ntena so ncha wonte ase ya ji tumi no ye tena so akekere man na wo jimi a wo ti kopot no se ye nte ase na baomia beba enkwasiafo mu di baomia echi ubuso mo se Mahmud baomia de na obeya baomia nkofo no we mu di baomia echi o
campaign no nyame adom ekoyi pa Dr. Mahmud baomia nyame adom a January 31st ebusu wiwe yakobo be kasa
na mi bisa se oba power then vision.
The vision is our only two alada. The vision is kuta papa no. adwene kuta no Ghana based Dubai.
Into the vision no me Freddy mami.
Vision no kan ho bi na ready for education buy. And then what light of phones. Who renew hospital bibia of phones. They say bibia digital.
Into 2028 you vote man na ade new ben or ba.
New or dey ba ni say no one or dey ba be no. Be na no. Say or the new matter na ba 2024 now. And ye to election now 2028 no. And your man or the buy any 5 yeah the 5 of the count.
Me to see and me see friends and your 5 no friend or Fredino Dino.
Edini is Ziriga a dozen. A baby. And no one
Won't me Fredino.
And I'm saying Ghana and the best in Dubai. And I want to ask you, and I'll get pan of a catch it up.
Bamia Ebia or the way back constituency or the way back way.
Eba Baomiaba. So wali broni crowd or wali broni. So Baomiaba train and a cancer before you.
And any vision.
Baomiaba and Kwojo school in government school be open bus in the school. What would get who need sika or the better you be able to study a juma. What I say? So we nika prana ye be cram machines out be nika. We baba ye be ma machine out be baba. Adwuma bi we be aban be so aso asene ama adwuma na peja. Na wo kwa so pese ba o me aba wo ye de. Ana pese kutepta we na kekeka info yi ni sa bo a. Esika. Catch up.
Me say we mu nom di ba o mi echi o sankofo we e di ba o mi echi o sa akwa ne pushi ni kakra na ina monkey ni pie omusa o magimi omunyina na mabodam NPP omusa o magimi omunyini pe na mabodam we mu na di ba o mi echi da yentuma ba o mi hey o se o pushi ni kakra na ina monkey ni pie ina monkey ni ba ina monkey ni yi na di ai ba o mi aba o wari broni da o be wari broni we wo mu nipa urade me say we NPP supporter now you pona ho onfa so bebre che NPP supporter pona na no dey betu di pona ye pona abin na ne ho na o dey akoko o dey NPP supporter compare pona ana say apembo de onfa so che NPP supporter ati kwase moka wati nkwase se be firi no mu ba obi ba wo ye nyem no ene e kyem no wo no odiba omi eji say yemba ba omi president ye say oba oba den o say obi abaware broni wei omusa omagimi omunyina no mabodam ina monkey ni na wote no ina monkey no and your likes we say 2 million when people me say NPP supporter pona ho onfa so chen no pona na wa ye eye den ebunebunu eyi akato eyi nyaado stew na odi nkoso be tuatuom na eye pona anene ho na yere besi nchen a obetu ni NPP supporter akọ boda anase eye de apembo de omo Jimmy ready we mu akosia meri na hwe omo akosia meri de ne hwini se bini no Ghana ne hwini se bini na ne claim to fame say okuta Rebecca Kufuado baga okoye some criminal ebi se den max so se den sa Ghana ne hwini se bini no ono na ye okotuatua bill ne ma criminals na omo so meku president akosia menu product ne bini. And these are people we need to omo pese hand Ghana more na akwa we the toilet paper for so be na woso akwa we the one for so toilet paper sa French for paper na oko KVIP ani atibia ma no akwa we the one for so sa paper no unim the paper need to me unim baby to me clean na kwasi ampanyi we to work kan kwasi asam oso awe Jimmy onyini o ina monkey no he omo makọ school na Jimmy no omo makọ school na omo Jimmy kwa he tie
upon us with mercy. So those of us who have common sense and are on social media and are writing, why is the president giving 25 million and this and that and talking plenty and the cathedral is going to cost you to lose elections? No one will lose elections before because he built a cathedral. We will see in this country. We will see it that no one is going to lose election because he dedicated a prime land for God. Judges were living in that place. Ridge is one of the choicest lands in this country. And they said, take the judges out and put the temple of Jehovah here. That's what Solomon did. Now, because David obeyed and he created a temple through his son Solomon, can you imagine Jerusalem 5,000 years after the fact? They still call Jerusalem the city of David. Elections before because he built a cathedral. We will spend 5 million and this and that and talking plenty and the cathedral is going to cost you to lose elections. No one will lose elections before because he built a cathedral. We will see in this country. We will see it that no one is going to lose election because he dedicated a prime land for God. Judges were living in that place. Ridge is one of the choicest lands in this country. And they said, take the judges out and put the temple of Jehovah here. That's what Solomon did. Now, because David obeyed and he created a temple through his son Solomon, can you imagine Jerusalem 5,000 years after the fact? They still call Jerusalem the city of David.
Jantreni. Jantro. I friend Nibesie. Il est Jantreni Paul. On kwa sema no amutigana edi. Oshesu dituzo nyas we Jimmy. Nobody will lose an election because they built a cathedral. They broke down the judges' houses. They broke down Kwasiampenyi. Jantro, il est Jantro. French Nibesie, Jantreni ba, il est Jantro. Jantreni. We Jimmy. NPP for say na mutio. De na mutigana eye. Obi ko tua mena ase wako Israel kotamboba meme Yesu mema konta ni kurom me yire Juni ni nua bema ni Yesu me yire ohun Yesu say just a normal boy wo wako meme yire kurom akoma konta kurom akotoboba aba oro kwase aye otu kankankan begina TV so nobody will build a cathedral and lose an election and we build Jimmy il jantro jantre ni Paul jantre ni wono yire jantra fo mienu. And we were sitting in Ghana watching these clowns. Mr. Paul Ademochre, this year, the other 20 the onye bida. Paul Ademochre, me say, me kase me chire mo last no. Anybody who had tried anything against me in the past, they are going to suffer the consequences this year. My kase way. When we so be rising against me as survivor. It's either your voice will be taken away. And when the voice is taken away, nobody's going to listen to you. And at the end of the day, you will end up dying like a sheep. It is going to happen. And you see, all these people, they be because somebody say, when we say Obia rising up against me in this space, whether on TV, on radio, on social media, as survivor after that, the moment I shut up on you, you are done. And you can see it clearly on all of them. And this year is their last year. They will face the consequences. Because you see, we are not just doing it, we are saving lives and saving a nation. And if you make up your mind to say, we wanting to save a nation, you want to obstruct the work of God, God will nullify you. And we are men, we don't have time to do that. God in his own wisdom knows the end of every man and he decides the fate of every man. Into my catch them will say, all the people a few months ago who rose up against me, in our life, God will take word out of your mouth. People will listen to you as a madman. You have no idea what is coming. But they themselves, they know. They don't sleep. And you will never sleep. Because when you murder sleep, you will sleep no more. When you murder sleep, you will sleep no more. Cast your mind back. Obia will try anything against me on this thing called internet. Busasa one to my survival. Ebimo ejuma abomo. Ebima homeless. Some people cannot sleep. Some people are struggling. And this year is the manifestation year. People have no idea. Do you know what we had to go through to save Ghana from the nonsense of Akufo-Addo? You think it's a joke? Ayanko enim. Mo de mo nim mo hu bibi da. For any to form, for any to form. Mo sofo bi akobusa sofo do say, hwehwe Kevin Tailor chi, you understand? Now, Mamen Chira wa de ba kubu ha. Team, yenwrem, let's enter the wagon team. It's exactly 10:32 p.m. Team. I don't know what's going on, team. I don't know what's happening.
Enti sana ensem akwakoye wati asiye. Oye den kra na sisi NPP amayuku no. Oye omuden Kevin Tailor mbedi ntro. Oye omuden Kevin ombedi ntro. Because see no omunya nokwase bia nka bio. Entro na no mbetwa because sisi omu se Ghana for sebi. Yeni aiden ate. Omu se Ghana for sisi yate politics ase. Yate amanyo sem ase. And enye first na ye ka say oh mimi ya santini enti asante so de oye den kwa ye beto ya ba e de NPP no matter what will happen. Okay, means me a veteran enti say tibia no voter for so de oye den indi sa na beto ya ba. Okay, means me ye akani ananse means me ye bununi oye me den kwa na antuma ba ma NPP a me nkoto aba. Okay, means me ye ga enti saa nso no ebia metuma aba ama NDC abuzia ene saa ne mani ni hu bio ethnocentrism, tribalism, favoritism, nepotism in politics no ene a thing of the past ene saa ne mani nyina ni hu bio. That is why NPP recorded the most what worst resource general election resource BC da ukrum hada. That is why NPP for a record be in the last election. It tells you how Ghanaians are what getting in touch with normal daily politics activities. It tells you a child said the Ghana for any see a bedie or who said the politics a see. A child said it's politics a see echoes for Ghana. It is a MPP for so be detour. They should continue. MPP for so be detour. Omunkos for any trono. Na eda 2028 December 8th and December 7th ebeba. Saa dane no eno be hu intense level. Na so ben ye po bia me na begina ni maka che so episode president awi Bawumia. Sebi Bawumia nye bafan, sebi bafan ko eti di president mani ba Bawumia yo trofo. Bawumia was in this country na nado ene ne nkrofo accomplice really this country into and what a deep shit. Iti kuroma na Bawumia tena sema ilivye jitumo. Iti kuroma ene Bawumia dollar no ehuru fa cedi ne so. Iti kuroma ene petrol bo ekoduru 22 cedis per liter. Iti kuroma na nema bo eye dindindi. Iti kuroma na nurses ene teacher trainee allowances ekamu. Iti kuroma ena yema mini pensioners omusika omode koto bank. Omusika no eye fratatam. Iti kuroma ena omo kache se omo ye haircut no bia hu awusika da odi usika akoto shells ne bond no ohunka. Iti kuroma na sankofo ne sika ekodim. Iti kuroma na DKBM se whoever DKM se Manchester Motors omo zami okuroma MPP for back kache se ombe giamai ena iti srabom. Iti kuroma ena sa nima we na akoso Bawumia ti hebi onyanko baby ene na neti kuroma. He was in this country and all these scandals happened, but yet he couldn't do anything. Or sign any kukudro bekache Ghana for say ane or no president di wabua amakufa do we or mine we to the extent say neki no frata or two pata for trying to the extent say neki no frata hunu baby untimi mfani mafi because wakobon hu edwa oni say wadi boni. Inti de utimi mafi panyina sebi waye minister senior minister mo ade na nka wodwane ampeso beba okurum ekika ko wanye ni nti ɛde sɛ Bawumia tumi gyina ne nan so ka kyerɛ Ghana for sɛ nto abama na kyerɛ sɛ Bawumia ɛnim aniwo. And I don't blame him because ɔno ankasa nam hɔ yi na adwene ani sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔdi president na ɔmafia Ghana for. It is not the intention to what help Ghanaians. Eti yewura Kevin Ekwobodu tell us sɛ mo kan nyinaa no ɛda mu turo do ɛntoro baako kora ni. Eti na ɔyɛ Ghana ni a hwɛ sɛdeɛ ɔman ni si kɔ, hwɛ sɛdeɛ yewura John Mahama wabrɛ ne ho ase a ɔma tete nneɛma so ama anim si kɔ na hwɛ so na to aba. Na wokɔdi NPP fo n'akyi a ɛyɛ sɛ sɛ bi wakɔware wo yere na obi wone na nya ntɔkwa kakra bi na obi ahyɛ wo kutu pɔse gyaa no ɛhwɛ akɔware obi a obɛkum. This is a classic example for it. Sɛ ɛnim ne yɛkɔtɔn yɛ color TV a yɛkɔtɔ black and white a ɛbɛma yɛ ho akyerɛ ɛna NPP fo ankasa te opposition no ɔmo nye nka bom na nka mpɛ sɛ ɔmo aba Ghana abɛka yɛ ho abom ama ɔmo economy no agyina ne nan so. And you know very well sɛ amamuo ɛyɛ about unity, amamuo ɛyɛ about what nka bom. It is ɔmo nka bom a how can they rule this country to a satisfactory setting? Let me come bro. Tebusha kemtele ya minchira wate ya dao papa kyerɛ w'adwene ɛwɔ conversation ne makra ho. Bye bye.